Have you ever really stopped to think about where the energy you're using right now, just to listen, to think, actually comes from? Well, it's part of this incredible journey that starts 93 million miles away with the sun, and it ends inside every single one of your cells. Let's trace that amazing path together.
When you look at all the incredible diversity of life on this planet, from the tiniest microbe to the biggest blue whale, it's all connected by one constant: driving force. It's the universal fuel for the engine of life, this non-stop need for energy.
So that's the big question we're diving into. How does all that energy from the sun get captured, stored, and then used by you and me? As you're about to see, it's really a story of two totally different, yet completely interconnected strategies for survival.
To solve this massive energy problem, life basically evolved down two main paths. This created a fundamental split in how living things get their fuel. And honestly, this divide sets the stage for pretty much everything else.
So on one side, we've got the autotrophs. That literally means self-feeders. These are the producers, right? Think green plants making their own food from scratch. And then on the other side, we have the heterotrophs, or other feeders. And yep, that's us and all the other animals. We have to get our energy by eating other living things.
Let's start with the producers, the autotrophs, because that's where this whole journey really kicks off. They figured out how to tap into the most powerful energy source we've got, the sun, through a process that is, and I'm not exaggerating, nothing short of biological magic.
And that magical process is photosynthesis. It is the foundation for almost all life on Earth. Plants take in some carbon dioxide, some water, and then use sunlight to literally cook their own food, a simple sugar called glucose. And as a pretty amazing bonus for us, they release the very oxygen we need to breathe.
But wait a second, how do we actually know all this is true? Scientists didn't just guess, they proved it with some really clever experiments. Think of it like a detective story, and the very first clue they started following was light itself.
This experiment is so simple but so brilliant. See, by covering part of a leaf with black paper to block the sunlight, scientists could then test the whole leaf for stored energy, which is starch. And the result? Super clear. The part that was out in the light turned dark, packed with starch, while the covered-up part had nothing. It's the smoking gun.
So the conclusion here is just undeniable. Without sunlight, a plant simply cannot create and store food. Light is the on switch for this entire incredible process. Okay, so we've confirmed that light is absolutely essential. But what about the other key ingredient plants get from the air? Carbon dioxide. How do we prove it's just as vital? Let's take a look at the next piece of evidence.
In another really clever setup, this one's called Moll's half-leaf experiment. A part of a leaf was sealed inside a bottle with a chemical that literally sucks all the carbon dioxide out of the air. The other half of the leaf was just left outside. And the result? The part inside the bottle, completely starved of CO2, produced zero starch. Case closed.
So where is all of this incredible chemistry actually happening? It's all going down inside these tiny little power packs called chloroplasts. You can think of these as the microscopic solar factories inside a plant cell. They're packed with that green pigment, chlorophyll, that's responsible for capturing the sunlight and getting the whole process started.
All right, so now that we've seen how energy gets captured by plants, let's follow it on the next leg of its journey, into a heterotroph. Let's follow it into us. The moment we eat, we kick off this whole multi-stage process. It starts with just mechanical breakdown in the mouth, then an acid bath in the stomach turns everything into a paste. But the real magic, the main event, happens in the small intestine. That's where we absorb all those good nutrients. The large intestine then just handles the final cleanup.
Now this right here is the most critical step. The walls of your small intestine are covered in these millions of tiny little fingers called microvilli. Their job is to create a massive surface area for absorption. This is the exact moment that stored solar energy, now broken down into nutrients, finally crosses over into your bloodstream to get delivered to every single part of your body.
But, just getting those nutrients into your blood is only half the battle. To see how that energy actually gets unlocked and used, we have to zoom in even further, from the bloodstream right into a single individual cell. So, meet the mitochondrion. If the chloroplast is the solar farm that captures the energy, then the mitochondrion is the power plant that releases it for us to use. This is where the final, crucial step of the energy journey happens. Inside these mitochondria, the energy from our food gets converted into a very special molecule called ATP. This stuff is the universal energy currency for all life. Seriously, think of it like a tiny, rechargeable battery that powers literally everything your cells do, from contracting a muscle to firing a neuron. Now, our cells have two main ways to generate these little ATP batteries. The main way is aerobic respiration. It uses oxygen and it's incredibly efficient. But when you're exercising really hard and can't get enough oxygen fast enough, your cells switch to a backup plan, anaerobic respiration. It's a quick fix, but it's way less efficient, and it produces that lactic acid that makes your muscles burn. You know the feeling. Okay, let's zoom all the way back out for a second. We've seen how energy is captured by plants and then released by animals. But what's truly amazing is how these two processes fit together in this perfect planet-wide cycle.
I mean, look at the symmetry here. It's just beautiful. Photosynthesis uses CO2 and water to make food and oxygen for us. Then our bodies use that food and oxygen, and our waste products are CO2 and water. The exhaust from one process is literally the fuel for the other. It's the ultimate planetary recycling program.
This natural balance is everything. But what happens when we, on our side of the equation, don't give our bodies the right mix of nutrients to hold up our end of the deal? Well, this is where the whole concept of malnutrition comes into play.
And the consequences of this kind of imbalance can be really severe. For instance, a simple lack of vitamin C leads to scurvy, a condition where the body literally can't repair itself. A lack of vitamin D can cause rickets, which leads to weak, soft bones. These diseases are powerful examples of what happens when our cells are missing just one tiny, crucial ingredient.
So, this massive, incredible journey from a single ray of sunlight to a thought in your brain, it all comes down to this. Your cells are constantly performing this amazing balancing act every second of every day. The final question really is, are you giving them the right ingredients to succeed?